Hey, there are so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. You know that little voice in your head, the one that's narrating your life right now? We all have one. We think of it as our private guide, our conscience, our command center. But what if I told you its origin story has nothing to do with self-reflection and everything to do with being selfish? I mean, that voice is always there, right? It's our constant companion narrating everything from what to have for dinner to our deepest, darkest fears. It's so present, we almost never stop to ask the most basic question of all: why do we even have it? And it is always on. One study found that we spend about a quarter of our entire waking lives listening to ourselves think. A full quarter. That is a staggering amount of time. So where on earth did this inner chatterbox come from? Well, to find out, we have to go way, way back. See, the story of your inner voice isn't some peaceful tale of developing self-awareness. Nope. It's a story forged in conflict, in a high-stakes evolutionary arms race, where the prize was survival and the weapon was a secret. Just picture it. Our early ancestors had this huge problem. To survive, you absolutely had to cooperate with the group. You needed them to hunt, to protect you, but you were also in constant competition with every single one of them for food, for status, for mates. This tension, cooperate but compete, created the perfect pressure cooker for a new human trait to evolve. And it seems like speech evolved in these three basic steps. First, obviously, we learned to talk to each other. That's social speech. Then, something interesting happened. We started talking to ourselves out loud to figure things out. You see little kids do this all the time when they're solving a puzzle. But the final genius move was taking that out loud private talk and pulling it inside the mind. And that leads us to the million-dollar question. Why? What possible advantage could there be in hiding your own plans from the very people you rely on to survive? The answer, as it turns out, is beautifully, wonderfully cynical. It all comes down to something called an asymmetric intraspecific evolutionary arms race. Okay, that is a huge mouthful, I know, but the idea is simple. It's an arms race within a species. Think of it like an endless battle between those trying to get away with something and those trying to catch them. And here's where it gets wild. The leading theory is that our inner voice didn't evolve for meditation or self-improvement. It evolved to help us lie, to help us deceive the group for our own personal gain. This quote nails it. If you're an early human and you're planning to, say, grab the best piece of meat for yourself, talking that plan out loud is a terrible idea. Someone will hear you and your plan is toast. But if you can formulate that entire selfish plan silently inside your own head, suddenly you have a massive strategic advantage over everyone else. And this isn't just a human thing. We see this strategy everywhere in nature. With Galata monkeys, for instance, females are supposed to mate only with the alpha male. But, some of them cheat. And researchers notice that when they're cheating with a non-leader, they're way, way quieter about it. Why? Simple. They're hiding the evidence to avoid getting caught and punished. Being quiet is a tool for deception. But of course, the arms race didn't stop with silent thoughts. As some of us got better at hiding our intentions, the rest of us got better at detecting them by reading tiny tells in body language and facial expressions, which in turn made the deceivers better at faking their body language. This constant back and forth is what made us the incredibly complex, social, and sometimes paranoid creatures we are today. Okay, so let's recap. Our inner voice is this ancient, powerful weapon forged in social combat. It's a tool for secret plotting that gave our ancestors a huge advantage. It has to be the most important part of our brain for self-control today, right? The master puppeteer pulling all the strings? I mean, it would make perfect sense. This incredible tool, honed over millennia for strategic advantage, should be our ultimate guide for navigating the modern world. It should be our secret weapon for success. Yeah, about that. It turns out that for most modern adults, that powerful weapon is, well, it's basically offline. In fact, it might not be doing much of anything at all. A 2021 study suggested that our inner voice is mostly what scientists call an epiphenomenon. It's just a fancy word for a side effect that doesn't actually cause anything. A great analogy is the steam from a steam engine. The steam proves the engine is running, sure, but it isn't the steam that's actually pushing the train forward. And our inner voice, it might just be steam. And when you look at the data, it's pretty shocking. Researchers tried to figure out what actually predicts positive things like self-compassion, wisdom, and general well-being. It wasn't the inner voice. In almost every case, it was a deeper sense of self-awareness. The only thing our inner monologue was good at predicting? Negative self-preoccupation. That's it. That ancient weapon for getting ahead is now more often than not just background noise.
So what do we do with this information? Well, it means we have to completely rethink what that voice in our head actually represents. It's not the CEO of You Inc. It's more like a retiree from a company that shut down ages ago.
So here is the big takeaway. That voice you hear isn't some master controller. It's an evolutionary echo. It's a fossil, a leftover from a time when the ability to hide your thoughts was a matter of life and death. Today, the real driver of who you are and what you do seems to happen at a much deeper, quieter level than all that chatter. Now, this doesn't mean you should hate that voice or that something's wrong with you for having it. As researcher Ethan Kross says so well, having that inner chatter just means you're human. That's it. Welcome to the club. It's a weird, shared piece of our evolutionary history. But knowing its secret origin as a tool for selfish deception and its modern reality as mostly background noise, that changes things, doesn't it? It's not your boss. It's not necessarily telling you the truth. It's just an old echo. So the next time that voice starts rambling on, how differently will you listen to it now?